Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the stream tonight. I hope everybody's been having a great day thus far. The weekend is definitely upon us, and Prime Week is also closely coming. Now, with that saying, guys, don't sleep on these sales because they are beautifully priced. We got a bunch of very cool products at great price points that's going to help you out very well. Now, for those of you down in that Texas area, maybe some of these systems could have helped you out this week, and hopefully, you guys will grab some and get some relief with that as well. I do have a buddy down there that's actually suffering without power for the last week, and I know that's kind of rough doing that. These power stations can definitely get you guys back up and running when you don't have that power. Now, with that, of course, we're always going to have some fun. We're going to do some cool stuff. You guys see, well, let's see if I can point in the right direction. Right over there, there is a rotating banner. That rotating banner, guys, is going to actually show you guys some cool stuff. First and foremost, with that being said, it's got a little codes on it. It's also got some price points on there for some pieces. Anything, guys, of course, if you spend over $1,000, get 5% off extra on top of that. Now, with that, I also want to say thanks, Lois, for joining in. I know Lois is around here. So if you guys do have questions, we do have a team member from Jackery in chat that might be able to answer those questions that I may have missed or may not miss. You never know. With that, guys, we're going to start this show off like we always do, starting with the smallest to the biggest. We're going to give you guys some details, some fun, and some stuff like that. Now, the funny part is, tonight before this show, I realized 30 to 35 minutes ago I did not charge my phone for the show. And I really need this phone for the show. Now, the cool part is I actually have all these Jackery power stations laying around, so why not use them? I grabbed one, I charged it up, and by luck, by the time it was ready and get to go, phone's fully charged, and we're good to do this show again. That's what's having these products around has actually quite helped me out a lot with. And that's actually kind of cool. Now, the funny part is I actually burnt up a USB-C port trying to charge a phone. Now, it wasn't on these devices. It was actually my power brick that I normally plug into my wall. That's kind of a headache, but, at least I got the power stations. I don't need that power brick. I'm on, and I'm good to go. Now, with that, we're going to start off with, of course, their smallest but mightiest little power station. Now, that's going to be this 100 Plus. Now, this 100 Plus is a really cool power station. First and foremost, it comes with cabling. It's got this nice bright yellow or orange contrast of course, beautiful power plug. This is a USB-C to USB-C. It's going to allow for that 100-watt pass-through. This is the cable I grabbed to start charging some devices when I need to. And I don't untie it. Honestly, I don't need a lot of length when I'm charging up my little remotes or my flashlights. This does perfectly well. Now, the cool part is it also comes with this little adapter. This is a USB-C to DC plug adapter, so you guys have that as well. Now, the Jackery Explorer 100 Plus is a really beautiful portable power station that is TSA approved. You can take this on a plane and you don't have to worry about it. Now, the even better part about that is, guys, 99 watt-hours of power, 31,000 milliamps of power. What time did you start? I just started, Sheila. We just started this show. Don't be sleeping on me, Sheila. Don't be sleeping. We just started. Just got going. Having some fun. We just started about a couple minutes ago. And now with this, of course, guys, mighty and portable. TSA approved. Take it on an airplane and use it. Now with it, you do have, of course, two USB-C ports, 100 watts max, charging capability in and out. You also have a USB-A port at 18 watts max. That means you guys can get those Android devices charged up and going. The even better part is of course, I was sleeping. I have yet to sleep. I've been fighting things all day. Trying to get all that, Prime stuff ready before Prime has been just, keeping me going. It's one of them things. Now, with this, guys, you can charge a bunch of different things. You can run a bunch of different things. The sky's the limit as long as it has a USB-C port or USB-A port or an adapter that downloads to one of those. Now, 6 cell phone charges, 2 iPad charges, 6 hours on a mini laptop like your Chromebook, notebook, or 4 hours plus on a Nintendo Switch. Now, another cool part is you guys can plug an Nintendo Switch or a portable monitor into that and have it running for about 3.5 hours. This mighty yet mini little thing is 40% off. This is $89.99. This is an amazing product that I am always going to recommend. This has saved me quite a bit of hassle and time just grabbing these. And I'm gracious enough to know that, sometimes, I didn't believe in power stations before I started doing these. I realize where they can come in handy. I have to move to the mountains to make it go. I had 3 packages today of a bit. Nice, nice. I feel that. I had no packages. And of course, Lois just posted, guys, a code over there. That code, of course, is going to give you that 5% off $1,000 tonight. Purchases over $1,000. On top of that, she's also showing you guys the exclusives on the 2000 Pro, and of course that E1000 price tags. It really is. This is a mighty little power station in its own right because of the size and how really well it's done. 2 pounds of weight. It's super light. I mean, literally, I could sit here and bounce it up and down like a baseball all day long and carry it around without a problem. I wouldn't even notice it. If I was back in my old skater days and had some Jinko jeans or some Vizen skateboard jeans on or shorts, I throw it in my pocket and not worry about it because those short pockets were really, really big. Really amazing little piece, beautiful little product, and of course, small and mighty. So if you guys need the 100 plus, is a really cool one. Now we're gonna move on to its its brother. Its brother. Let's go there. It's its brother. The 240. The 240, guys. The 240 is 240 watt hours of power, but yet very, very portable. Now, this is actually kind of cool. 240 watt hours of power, has an AC plug. That means you guys can plug in house-style devices. It's got that 3-prong AC plug. It does do 200 watts of pure sine wave power, but can peak at 400 if you need. Has 2 USB-A ports at 5-volt 2.4 amp with that. Now, the DC plug over here is actually going to be for your wall plug, your solar panels, or other devices. 12-volt 10-amp cigarette lighter plug, of course, for your air mattresses, inflatable rafts, or inflatables for your pools if you really need to, bicycle tires, whatever you guys need to plug into that. Another cool thing would be like dash camera. If I had, so yeah, solar panels. Oh yeah, ooh. They do. Sometimes they do. With that, of course, this is a cool piece. 7 pounds, less than 7 pounds, portable, light. Now, it does have a fixed handle, has a flame retardant shell, class 9 drop protection, all that good jazz that you would expect from a power station. 3.5 hour charge time on a wall plug, about 5 hours on a cigarette car lighter, or if you have a 100-watt solar panel, about 5 hours as well. It's a great product thus far. Now, run times, of course, is going to be a little bit different, like 4 or 5 drone batteries, 15 to 16 DSLR batteries or Sony ZV-1s. We are firm believers of the Sony's cameras. I use the Sony ZV-E10. I have the Sony ZV-E1. I have the A5500. I have the A6000. I'm on the market for another one. I'm not going to talk about the one I'm looking at, but I am on the market for another Sony camera. Firm believer. So charging those batteries, I have a must, and I keep stacks of them around. In my drawer, I probably have like 6 sets of these for each different style of camera. This, of course, is from the Sony ZV-1, and charging these is quite handy. Now, you guys could use it to run like a mini cooler as well if you guys wanted to, or the little mini ice chest. Some other cool ideas would be like your tablets, of course, about 7.5 hours of runtime. Taking this in your back of your car on a car drive to keep that kid's tablet going on a long day trip, this is a must. This is a great piece. Nice, quick emergency. It's going to do what you need as you need it at a good price point. They're literally $178 for this. I need to know if the difference between the 2000 plus. You want the plus. The plus is better. Just saying it. The plus has got the expandability. A Pro's just by itself. It's a standalone system. The plus, you can add batteries. Plus also has a little more power. Yeah. Oh. Now, of course, guys, nice little piece, great price point. If you need something like that, 178, 240 is definitely a step in the much needed plus size. Now, let's show you guys another really cool one. Let's show you guys the 240 V2. Now, this, of course, is the new version of that 240 you just saw. Now, you're probably wondering where it's at on this table, and yes, I was wondering because I have it mixed up with another one, but we can grab the 240 V2, right? 240 V2 right here. This is a really cool one. Now, it changes the housing shape. It goes to the square shape. Actually changes the screen. The screen is a different color contrast. This one also works with the app. You guys can control it with the app. Now, also has some new technology called Charge Shield 2.0. Charge Shield 2.0 in this piece actually allow you to have it up and running in 1 hour of time on a wall plug fully charged. Now, very versatile in multiple scenarios that you could use this in, ranging from, of course, that house lamp, house fan, your modem or router, or like our buddy Nikita, maybe he just wants to, of course, turn on a fan to cool him or a mister. You could do that with this right now. Now, of course, you have the AC outlet that does 300 watts of pure sine wave power, but can peak at 6. You have two USB-C ports. One's a 100-watt port, the other's a 15-watt port. The 100-watt port is an in and out port. You then have the USB-A port at 15 watts as well. Now, with you still have that 12-volt 10-amp cigarette lighter plug on this. Now, where it steps up is 256 watt-hours of power with a 1 hour charge rate on a wall plug. If you want to use the USB-C port, it's going to be about 2 hours for you to charge that. If you have a single solar panel like the 100, it's going to be about 2.5 to 3 hours depending on the sunlight you're grabbing, of course, in the area you're in. I love it. Now, run times is going to be kind of cool, like a Bluetooth speaker, 10-watt Bluetooth speaker, like I was running off it earlier, about 16 hours. Now, I can go into kind of a scenario. I was testing wireless microphones, and the wireless microphones kept killing my microphone on my PC. So I grabbed a Bluetooth speaker, paired it up with one of these to power it, and then connected it up to that, and did, of course, that process through that, and it was totally fine, which is kind of cool. It's my fault for not realizing that it was kicking over the default microphone when I was trying to record. That's all on me. It wasn't, an issue with the product. After I realized it, we solved that issue. But this allowed me to run that Bluetooth speaker while doing that product, of course, on hand, which is great. It saved me in a pinch where I needed it to be saved. When I didn't realize that I needed it. You guys could also do drone batteries, laptop chargers, and of course, cell phones. You guys could run, of course, the modem. Your modem's going to be about 14 hours of runtime. The 5-watt light bulb that's over here. That light bulb's going to give you about 20 hours of runtime. That flat screen TV that's behind me. I know it's kind of hard to see because of all the Jackery power stations, but you get about 4 hours of runtime, so you can watch a little bit of the news to see what the weather's going to be like, or just put on some cartoons while you're eating your animal crackers and drinking your sippy cup, like I was doing this morning before I realized I had to work. Don't judge me. I like my animal crackers, especially frosted. Guys, it's really cool. I kind of like it. Now, with that being said, for those of you that are animal lovers, maybe you guys have pet lizards, maybe you guys have a pet snake, maybe you have a tarantula or other types of animals. When that power goes out and they have heating pads and they need that heat, plug it into here and run it for about 6 hours. The 240 V2 will give you that amount of runtime to do that, which is kind of cool. I kind of like that idea. Of course, like I said, 2 hour runtime on a 90-watt mini fridge or mini cooler. That's going to be like your camping cooler. 2.5 hours on an 80-watt laptop, of course, as well. 240 V2 is definitely where it's at. Works with it individually switched. This is an amazing piece. Now, it's literally only $1 more than the original. It's a $179 price tag. That's it. It's going to give you the hour charge rate. It's going to be perfect. Now, the cool thing is I would actually pair the 240 V2 with the Mini 40 solar panel, which you guys can get separately, or you can get it as a kit. That's up to you. The 240 V2 with the Mini 40 solar panel is a nice portable kit. But yes, If you really want to get the charge rate quicker, the 100-watt panel is definitely the go-to for that. Still, lightweight, portable, acceptable, and a great price point. $179 is not going to break the bank account. I definitely could purchase a couple of these without an issue. But, hey, it's on you which one you want. The 240 original or 240 V2. Both really cool ideas. And like I said, they all have silicone pads. These silicone pads are great for setting on surfaces so you don't have to worry about them scratching or marring up the surfaces. If you guys have like marble countertops, you want to put it on there, well, the silicone pad's going to save that countertop. For those of you that got glass tables, it's going to save that as well. Maybe you want to throw it on the hood of your truck and you're worried about scratching it. You don't have to worry about that with this. So cool little piece, of course, great little option. If you're looking for something like that, the 240 V2 is an amazing option for you. Uh-oh. Yeah, definitely an uh-oh for me today. I was having one of those days. You move on, you roll with it, and you keep going. All right, let's talk about the 300. Now, we do have the 300. It's hidden over there in the corner. I'm going to actually grab the 300. We're going to go grab it. Still, 7 pounds of weight, lightweight, portable, great for quick emergencies, traveling, hunting, blackout, or, of course, a bug-out bag. Now, this would be great in a bug-out bag. You just need a quick emergency. You don't need a whole weekend of running. This is a good bug-out bag device. Now, 293 watt-hours of power in this device is going to do well for you. Has, of course, 2 AC outlets. The 2 AC outlets are going to do 300 watts of pure sine wave power, but can peak at 600. Now, you do have 2 USB-A ports and 1 USB-C port. That USB-C port is a 60 watt in and out port. Now also you have, of course, the DC input plug and the 12 volt 10 amp cigarette lighter plug as well. Now with it, of course, it has that original fixed handle shell style. It's got the original lighting, of course, as well on top of that with that digital screen. Cooling technologies, of course, on the side, lithium ion battery system with this. Now, this is going to actually take about 3.5 hours to fully charge on a wall plug by itself. If you use the wall plug and that USB-C port, you're going to get about 2 hours and then it's fully charged. For those of you that want to do the 100-watt solar panel, about 4.5 hours and you're good to go. Runtime with this is actually kind of cool because you do have 293 watt-hours of power. You can run a Nintendo Switch for about 40 hours or so, and that's actually kind of cool. You can keep those kids very calm and very happy when the power is out, or just keep yourself happy with, of course, a Nintendo Switch or, other devices. Now, technically, yes, you could plug in an Xbox into this and run that as well. Xbox is normally about 100 plus or 200 watts of power. You're going to get an hour or so of playtime with that, but you could do it. You can run a little TV, of course, as well. It is about 7 decibels of sound, so it is quite quiet, so you don't have to worry about that. The 300 is a great option. Now, 4.5 hours on that 60-inch flat screen TV back there, or 70-inch flat screen, whatever you really have. 4.5 hours on a mini cooler, 16 to 17 DSLR batteries, I think it is, with this one, because it is a step up. About 4.5 hours on that 80-watt laptop as well. Hey, Justin, how are you doing? Didn't you? I thought you had company, buddy. You're going to get in trouble. Now, again, 300 is a great option. Class 9 drop protection, fire retardant shell. This one actually took a tumble about 9 feet off a shelf. Has no issues, no sounds. I can shake it. There's nothing going on. And it still works. Every plug, every piece. Still, everything lights up. Switches on as it should. Switches off as it should. It works like it should after a fall. Now, I'm not telling you to throw your device down. I'm just saying, accidents happen. This took a tumble and it works. Now, just like all of their products, yes, they do all come with warranties. So you guys have to check out which warranty comes with which device with that. They also, of course, all have serial numbers on these devices for that warranty registration. So do know you will need that. Most of them are on the back, so you can know where to look for them. Of course, again, the 300 Explorer, 293 watt-hours of power, $199 price tag. Very well done price tag and a very cool product. So if you're looking for something like this, the Explorer 300 is an amazing option. So hopefully that helped you guys out with choosing one of the smaller devices. Now we're going to move into, I believe, the Jackery Explorer 500. Now, when we do the Jackery Explorer 500, we're actually going to do, of course, the actual table. Now we're going to come into the table over here. We're going to show it right down in the middle, and hopefully I can get this to zoom in properly for you. Oh, there it is, right there. There, of course, is the 500. Now, of course, my picture's a little bit in the way. The Jackery Explorer 500 weighs about 13.5 pounds of weight. It is, of course, 40% off. It's like a $299 price tag tonight. The 500 does 518 watt hours of power, which means you guys can run a CPAP machine. For those of you that maybe have an attic or a basement and you just need to run a light down there, plug in a light to this and it will run that. Now with this, of course, you have one AC outlet, 500 watts of pure sine wave power, does peak at 1,000. Now it does have 3 USB-A ports at 5 volt 2.4 amps and 3 DC output ports and 1 DC input port. Now, where it steps up from the 300 and the 240 is when you flip it over, you're greeted with a flashlight. So the flashlight's right there on the side. Now that flashlight does do SOS pattern, so if I hold it down, it'll start flashing for you. Of course, with that, tap it off and it's done. Cooling technology still has the silicone pads, comes with the cable kit. The pouch is going to have, of course, all the cables that you need for that. And this is the pouch right here. We're not going to get into the pouch today. Normally show them, but you guys have seen them so many. We're going to go with that. Now, 13 pounds means it's still very carryable, acceptable to be taken on backpacks, road trips, of course, camping, throw it in the toy hauler, throw it in the back of your truck for a weekend getaway. It will work. If you want to charge it on a wall plug, it's going to be about 5 to 5.5 hours to charge this device. The same in a cigarette lighter situation in your car, about 5.5 hours. For those of you that have that 100-watt solar panel, it's going to be about 7 to 7.5 hours to charge this device. Now, runtime is going to give you about 9 hours on that mini cooler, 7 hours or so on the flat screen TV. But for those of you that want to take it downstairs and plug in a lamp and stuff, you're going to get multiple hours without an issue. And that's the cool part. Maybe you need to get into an area that doesn't have a lamp, but you can take a lamp with you and plug it in. Use the 500 for that. And I actually like that. Cooler, I could use a cooler. Me too, I could use a cooler. I had the cooling blanket out. Again, guys, for those of you that like to do like backyard barbecues or get-togethers, connect up a blender, make some smoothies or make some milkshakes for the kids. Blender will run about 50 minutes off of this. For those of you that like to do, of course, like the camping trips, and you guys take your inflatable rafts with you to go down the river or float the creek or float the lake, whatever you guys do. This will run an air pump that can run those about 8 hours of runtime, and that's actually a nice idea. For those of you that are just, always cold and want to heat up, plug in an electric blanket and run it for about 4 hours. At 13.25 pounds, it's actually quite acceptable to be carried around without an issue. It's about 12 inches, of course, by 12 inches by 6 inches by 9.25 inches, I think it is in size. So it's not that large. It's just, of course, got a little bit of weight, but has all the connectabilities with it. Still has that Class 9 drop protection and flame retardant shell. Has, of course, the lithium-ion batteries. And, of course, all 7 ports of charging power. 500 is a great price point. 500 is actually 40% off tonight. It's like $299. That's an amazing price. You can't go wrong with the power station of that power. Now, of course, we're going to move into one of the newer products. Now, I'm going to move the 500 out of our way. The new product is actually right back there on the table. So if we move a little bit, you guys are going to see this right here. That is the 600 Plus. Now, the 600 Plus is a really, really cool new product. This one was actually going to do very well for you. Where it steps up is about 632 watt hours of power, and it has a LiFePO 4 cell. Now, you have 2 AC outlets, 3-prong standard American plugs to plug in any house device you really want. Because it does 800 watts of pure sine wave power, but can peak at 1600 watts. That means technically you can run and plug a double door refrigerator, your actual house kitchen stove, or even some smaller microwaves, as I learned last night on stream. Because I've never bought a really small microwave, I didn't realize that some of them smaller ones were around 7 to 800 watts. I always get the big ones, so that's just me being me. Now, has Charge Shield 2.0, which means it has a 1 hour charge rate on a wall plug. For those of you that want to do, of course, charging with solar panels, you can do that as well. It's going to give you about 4,000 charge cycles before the battery drops down to about 80% lifespan of that battery. You're going to get about 10 years at 100% of that battery, and then after that, it's going to be about 80% and then on. Now, the cool part is, of course, with that 632 watt hours of power, you guys can run multiple devices without an issue. Because it does and will allow you to run, let's say, a Bluetooth 10 watt speaker for about 36 hours. Your 60 watt to 90 watt car refrigerator. If it's a 60 watt, about 6 or so hours. If it's a 90 watt, you're going to get about 4.5 to 5 hours with that. For those of you that want to run like your Nintendo Switch, you can definitely do that off of this without an issue for multiple hours. All right, no issue whatsoever. The iPhone, of course, about 29 watt iPhone, about 13 charge cycles on this if you need it. That 45 watt tower fan to get that chill off of you, or to get that chill on you because it's so hot. 10 hours runtime, that's a good runtime right there. Like I said, that 520 watt double door refrigerator, about 1 hour if you need. Or, of course, that TV, because I'm always having the TV on, 8 hours of runtime, which is kind of cool. Now, I'm going to take a sip of this drink real quick, because my allergy is still inflamed. But it can do a lot of stuff. It can run coffee makers. Technically, yes, you could plug in a microwave AC unit if you needed to. A really good one is for like people that really have to have a CPAP machine to sleep. A CPAP machine should be able to run all night off of this device without an issue for probably a day or two. I wouldn't see an issue with that. Now, $399 is what the machine by itself cost. The cool part is there's an option of the 600 plus with a solar panel. And the solar panel that comes with it is the 100 watt solar panel. And it's actually this panel right here. It has a really cool Velcroed on, of course, leg. And if you guys can see that, it's got a nice little elastic strap kit and Velcros to hold itself in place. It has sewn and, of course, riveted on handles that are actually nice and strong and durable. This is a lightweight solar panel. It's a trifold design, so it actually has, of course, 3 panels, or three layers of folding, but 4 panels, of course, with that. Now, it is, of course, riveted and clipped on, and you pop the clips off. Once you pop it off, you're going to be greeted with your first panel. It's also going to be able to greet it with all 4 panels if you extend it out like this. Now, it is actually a nice large solar panel. It does, of course, 100 watts of charge rate at 18 volts, which is actually decently well done. Monocrystalline solar cells, that's going to give you about 23% efficient, 23.5% of conversion rate efficiency to convert light to, of course, power. Now, when you're done, clip it back together. There are some little clips right here, magnetic clips, and of course the clasp on the side to hold it all together to keep it put away. Now, even better part is it's fully waterproof, water resistant, and of course in harsh and wet weather. It's an IP68 rating. IP68 rating is a really good rating. Now, this kit with, of course, the solar panel is a $599 price tag. It's 20% off. This is an amazing kit to have. If you guys need a kit like this, this is the way to go. With that new, of course, 1 hour charge time on the wall, and then you have this that can charge it in, of course, multiple hours as well. Definitely worth checking out. Now, the charge time, of course, with the solar panel is always going to be a little different depending on how much light you have, where you put it, and the situation of charging it with the solar panel. So do know you have to, recognize that, sometimes it takes a little bit different charge times. 600 plus, really great option. And of course, it has that new Charge Shield 2.0 which I'm highly a fan of. I love that quick charge rate. Any questions? Oh yeah, I could, I could go for a little bit cooler in here. I could go for the AC to be up a little higher, but I don't, it's just one of the, not in the books tonight. All right, guys, we're gonna move back here. We're gonna actually pop up, and we're gonna move up to that place up there. That is the 1000. That's the original 1000. That's the Jackery Explorer 1000, and we can move up a little higher if you really want. We can zoom in a little closer as well. Now, with this, of course, the Jackery Explorer 1000 is a really amazing power station at a $500 price tag tonight. It is definitely on sale, and it's going to save you guys a few bucks. Normally, this is like a $999 price tag for this 1000. It is $499. Save yourself some money. Now, 1002 watt hours of power, 3 AC outlets at 1000 watts of pure sine wave power, but can peak at, of course, 2000. Now, with this, of course, it's got a 5-hour charge cycle on a wall plug, 11 and a half hours on a cigarette car lighter, or, of course, if you have 2 solar panels, about 6 hours on the solar panels. Solar panels are always the way to go, so you don't have to pay it. Now, with it, of course, like I said, 3 AC outlets at 1000 watts of connectability. You also have 2 USB-C ports, 2 USB-A ports, a 12-volt 10-amp lighter plug, and an Anderson clip style of adaptation. That's going to be for like your solar panels. Now, on it, it also has a flashlight on the side, like the 500, which is actually kind of cool, nice and bright. Runtime on this, you're going to be able to run more things off of this because it does have 1002 watt hours of power. Ranging from like electric blanket for about 11 hours, the flashlight for about 65 hours with a 5-watt light bulb, flat screen TV about 9 to 10 hours. For those of you with that little mini cooler, you're out camping and you just want to keep the stuff cold during the hot day, about 13 hours of runtime with that. It's a really great option. And like I said, Anderson clip style, of course, on there and a fixed handle. This device does weigh approximately 22 pounds by itself. But at a $500 price tag, that's a good deal. Normally, it's like $1,000 for this piece. It still can be carried around without a problem. I see no issues while carrying the device. Now, of course, with that, we can actually pop up here and show you guys this. I'll flip it to the side so you can see the flashlight over here. Now, I know my voice might have dropped a little bit lower, and I do apologize for that. I stepped away from the mic, but trying to show you guys the flashlight. Still, of course, very carryable, very acceptable with this, of course, on hand. I see no problem with this device being carried around or used for whatever you need. If it's your home needs to your camping needs. For those of you in emergency situations, this will actually get you through those emergencies very well. Yes, it is 1000 watts of pure sine wave power, can peak at 2000 watts. That means you guys can definitely plug in that 1100 watt window AC and run that off of here. Now, what I'm going to tell you is that 1100 watt window AC is not going to give you a full hour of runtime, but it may just get you enough of a chill in the house that you can last a few more hours while it recharges on a solar panel. That's a really cool idea. And at 22 pounds of weight, it's still very carryable. I would definitely pair that one with the 100 watt Solar Saga panels. I would definitely get 2 of those panels for that kit at a great price point. So if you guys need the 1000, of course, is there for you. Now we're going to pop over and we're going to talk about the 1000 V2, which is on the bottom. And we're going to go down here and we're going to be like, hey, where's that? Well, it's right over there. And then we're going to tell my kid good evening, and then we're going to say back to work. The 1000 V2 is a really, really amazing product. It is, of course, the new version of the 1000. My camera is a little wiggy, but we're going to fix that. Now, this actually steps up a little. You go from 1002 watts to, of course, 1070 watt hours of power. You still have the 3 AC outlets, but of course, these ones do 1500 watts and can peak at 3000. Another really cool part about this is this actually has, of course, that Charge Shield 2.0, which is that new technology for 2024. It's got that 1-hour fast charge on a wall plug. Now, yes, it's got 2 USB-C ports. One's a 100-watt port, and the other is, of course, a 30-watt port as well. You then have, of course, that 15-watt USB-A port connectability. Now, this does have a flashlight on the front. That flashlight does do dual modes, and it also goes into SOS pattern if you need it. Now, where it changes from the original 1000 is it actually is the shell housing as well, and it goes to a LifePro 4 cell. Now, yes, it's got 4,000 charge cycles for the next 10 years and then drops down to about 80% or so with that. Your charge rate, like I said, 1 hour on a wall plug. It's about 2 hours on the USB-C port. 5 hours if you go into the app and drop it down to quiet charging mode. Or if you go, of course, have two of the 200-watt solar panels, about 3 hours of runtime. And that's what's cool. This one is actually can run the Solar Saga 200-watt panels. That's amazing to know that you can plug that panel in there. Now, runtime, of course, is going to range from different devices, from like your projectors to your window ACs to your dehumidifiers in your basement if it's really, really humid, or other devices. Your Bluetooth speakers, you're going to get about 50 hours of runtime on that Bluetooth speaker. And that's kind of cool. I like that. Now, outdoor, of course, you guys can do 12-hour on a heated blanket. You can put your palm sanders connected up to this, your table saws if you really needed to. For those of you that just want to, of course, use your smoker, but you have no power, maybe you got an electric smoker, plug in your electric smoker and run it off of that. That's another cool idea for those of you that like to cook. Having that electric grill sometimes, you don't have a plug-in to be used. This gives you that option, the 1000 V2. Now, the 1000 V2 is about $629 tonight. That's a great price point. It does weigh about 24 pounds of weight, though, so do know it's a little bit heavier than some of the others, but not too heavy that you couldn't carry it around. The handle's really cool because it does have the handle. The handle does, of course, fold up and it actually flips down. A little bit hard for you guys to see. Let's drop that magnification back a little so you guys can see the handle again. So this is the handle. Handle's got a silicone pad right here so you guys can actually do that as well. Really cool option. Now, on the side is where you're going to find your adaptation plugs. This is your wall plug. These are your DC plugs for your solar panels. That's where you're going to be able to put the two solar panels plugged in, and it has acceptabilities for, of course, the 200s and the 100 panels. I really like that idea. Now, the app is cool as well. When you use this, you can use it with the app. The app's going to allow you to turn on these switches to turn on any of the plugs that are on the device. It will also allow you to see the charge that's left on the device and see the temperature of the batteries at the charge rate that they're at. And to see all that technology at your hand is really nice because sometimes you can't see how hot something's getting or how much power it's drawing. Inside the app, you can actually see that. The app is, of course, fully works on Android and iOS. I'm pulling up the app right now. We can actually pop up one of these little power stations, kind of show you guys. So here's the app, and of course, it's showing you guys 60% of the battery. It's also showing you guys about 23 Celsius degrees with that. Now, if I really wanted to, I can change, of course, the Celsius out for Fahrenheit if I need. I do apologize, guys. Can I say that? Yeah, so, and that's a really cool thing. So, like, our buddy Nikita is actually down in Texas, and he has no power at his house. One of these stations would really help him during those needs. So, those of you that never thought about it, when you're without power for an extended amount of time, and you're so used to having technology, these stations will get you back up and running in that technology to get you through those times of need. Now, of course, you guys will probably need some solar panels to charge it up when you can't plug it into your house plug, but it's a great idea. And of course, the 1000 V2 is a nice option of that because you don't have to, of course, go that route of, I don't need the really bigger one, but I do need something to get me through just a quick emergencies. Now, of course, the station by itself is $629, but we also have it and some solar panels and, of course, the actual carousel. That's going to be about, I think, $899. It's going to be that station and their largest 200-watt panel. And I like that. Really cool little piece. Nice little device that's going to get you through and work well. So if you guys need the 1000 V2, the 1000 V2 with the solar panel, both amazing options, both perfectly well set. Yeah, storms are definitely one of them things that I always never thought I would have to deal with, but it's a great idea to have something like this on hand. Now, Sheila was asking me a little bit ago about the 2000 device. I was curious. Well, okay. Yes. So, Kenneth, they do act like UPSs as well. You can actually use some of these as a UPS. Now, what I'm going to tell you is there's actually a device that you have to connect up for some of those to be a UPS. It's almost like a wall adapter that connects up and will help you switch over to kick onto those. So, but yeah, you can definitely do that. Now, like I said, Sheila was asking about the 2000 Pro. Now, the 2000 Pro that we have in the carousel is actually the device and, of course, the 200-watt solar panel. The kit is actually a $1,299 price tag tonight. Normally, it's like $2,400. A $1,299, that means you guys can use that 5% coupon code that I have out there to save you guys some money. Now, with it, of course, we're going to get into it. We're going to backtrack over here. We're going to move the camera over. Now, that is actually the 2000 Pro right there. Now, the 2000 Pro is a nice little power station. And no, I'm not talking about the little baby in front. I'm talking about that bad boy right there. 2,160 watt hours of power. It's actually a really, really strong power station. It's got a good amount of power. This is where it's kind of cool. It still has a flashlight, so if you guys want to use the flashlight, it's got the flashlight, double modes, and SOS pattern built in. Has a cork cover with that. You guys, if the cork comes off on you or you accidentally rip it off, it's all good. It's still going to work fine. Now, it steps up to where it has two USB-C ports. These USB-C ports are 100-watt ports. Two USB-A ports, and of course, 18 watts with that as well. Now you have three AC outlets. These AC outlets are going to do 2200 watts of pure sine wave connectability with that, of course, on hand. Now with the 2200 watts of sine wave connectability, it can actually peak a little bit higher than that if you need to on hand. All still individually switched, has that nice large screen. Bright contrast so you can read it. It'll show you guys the hours that's left on it. It'll show you guys the hertz and, of course, your voltage. It'll also show you guys the wattage that's being drawn out of the device. Now, it also still has, of course, that 12-volt 10-amp lighter plug over here as well. With this device by itself, it's a 2-hour charge time on a wall plug. So that's what your charge rate is on this device. 2 hours, you're up and running and no problem. For those of you that want to use a solar panel, of course, it's going to be a little bit longer than that. It's about 2.5 hours with two of the 200-watt solar panels. You're getting one of those panels, so of course, you're going to have to go a little higher with that. Now, inside this, you're going to be able to run a lot of stuff, like 1150-watt window AC for about 2 hours. Your microwave, depending on the size of your microwave, about 96 minutes. For those of you that have a double-door refrigerator and you want to keep your ice box frozen because your power went out and you don't want to lose all of your elk or deer meat or whatever type of food you have in the fridge, 3.5 hours of runtime off of this device. That's an amazing little idea to be able to plug that in and get you through those with that. Now, of course, if you want to, guys, blenders, mixers, CPAP machines, anything and everything you could think of could be run off of this because of the power it has. What I will tell you is the full kit is about 62 pounds. This station is about 40 pounds by itself. So it does have a little bit of weight. The solar panel, of course, is another bit of weight on top of that. With it, it does have cooling technologies, has built-in temperature sensors, and intelligent battery management system. The intelligent battery management system is going to take care of your charge rate of the batteries, and it's also going to take care of the charge rate that's going to go out to your devices. It can determine what it needs to and only send that much, which is actually really, really nice. It's about 15 inches by 10 inches by 12 inches, so it's got a little bit of size to it, right? It's just one of them things. It's got a little size, but will do well for you. The USB-A port, that 18-watt port, you guys can do 5 volt, 6 volt, 3 amp, 6 volt, 9 volt, 9 volt 2 amp, your 9 volt 12 amp, or your 1.5 amp. Your USB-C ports, guys, pretty much the sky's the limit all the way up to about 20 volt by 5 amps as well. With that being said, though, you have, of course, the three AC outlets that will do 2200 watts of pure sine wave power, but can peak at 4400. That means you can run a table saw off this without an issue. It's not going to be an issue to run off your devices with this. The price point's where it's really at tonight. $1,299, normally a $2,400 price tag. It is an amazing price. It's a beautiful, beautiful price for you. Now, with it, we're going to move into their largest standalone system. Now, their largest standalone system, you're probably, what do you mean by standalone? Standalone means you can't add batteries to it, all right? That's all I'm talking about. It's a standalone piece. This, of course, is the 3000 Pro. The 3000 Pro is actually 3024 watt hours of power. Now, this changes the game in a whole bunch of ways with that. What do I mean by that? Well, it actually has 5 AC outlets. You have 4 standard AC outlets that are going to do 3000 watts of sine wave power, but can do 6000 peak if you really need it. You also have that fifth one. That fifth one's a different style of plug. It's going to be like your Tigger MIG welder plugs, your old school washers and dryers, your charging devices for like connecting it up to your smart cars and stuff. Now, no, you're not going to charge your smart car off of this. I'm just going to go there. But it's that style of plug on hand. Now, it still has 2 USB-C ports at 100 watts, 2 USB-A ports at 18 watts, a 12-volt 10-amp cigarette lighter plug, and works with the app. Now, where this actually changes the size, this device is 64 pounds. Now, with that being said, it is, of course, a great price point. It's like 32% off. It's $18.99. We also have that 5% coupon code that you guys could use as well. Now, we're going to move over here because it does have 3-inch large wheels that you guys can roll it around on. Of course, it's got a nice telescopic handle that's going to allow you to pull out and go into, of course, that mode where you need to. And I kind of like that you guys can actually do that, tip it around, roll it around, and do that with those types of things. To be able to roll it around like a suitcase is really amazing. Now, charge time is going to be a little bit different with this, right, guys? It has more power. So 2.5 hours on a wall plug is where you're going to be at. Now, if you have 6 of the Solar Saga 200 panels, right? 6 of the Solar Saga 200 panels is a 3.5 hour charge time with that. Why do I say 2,000 plus? I got the 3. You got the 3,000 plus? What? I don't know. You got the 3000 Pro if you got the 3000. It's only the 2000 plus if you got the 2000. Of course, with this, guys, the 3024 watt hours of power is going to allow you to, of course, run multiple devices, like your 520 watt refrigerator for about 5 hours, that 1150 watt window AC for about 3 hours. TV 35 plus hours. Now it's actually kind of cool. So the 2000 does have a 3000 watt pure sine wave connectability as well, and we'll get to that in due time. Your microwaves, like your 1160 watt microwave, kind of like what I have, 2.25 hours. Now, if you have an 800 watt microwave, it's going to run longer. For those of you that have an 800 watt stove, 3 hours of runtime, and that's actually kind of cool. Now, of course, you guys can do toaster ovens. You guys can do, of course, car refrigerators. You can do coffee makers, mini coolers, projectors, have a movie night out back. For those of you that want to do like your space heaters, about 6 hours on a 350 watt space heater. Your 18 watt, I'm not going to go there with your 18 watt consoles, guys. Unlimited amount of fun with that one. For those of you that want to do like your well pumps, your 60 watt well pumps to keep water coming into the house, 32 hours on that well pump. If you're a welder and you guys just need to finish off welding that frame of your car, maybe you're a rock crawler and you like to go mudding or 4-bying out in the woods. You take a welder with you, but you have nothing to run it. Take this power station. It's going to give you a little over an hour of runtime to run that welder. Maybe you guys broke a suspension part and you need to weld it back up on the spot to get you out of where you're at. This will do that. It'll allow you to run that welding machine, and that's really a nice idea to be able to do that. Because breaking a tie rod out in the middle of nowhere, or breaking a shock tower or a arm really hinders getting home. You really weld it back up, you're good to go, and you don't have to worry about it. It's a lot of information. It really is a lot of information. I agree. Of course, it does work as what's called an EPS. Now, EPS is like a UPS, right? The EPS means it's an emergency power supply. It's got a 20 millisecond switching time with this. Now, when it's in, of course, the EPS bypass mode, it's going to be about 1440 watts, all right? So that's just what it is. The AC input / output power is 1440 watts of pass through. And that's just where you're going to be at with that on that EPS bypass mode. Now, of course, 12 forms of protection, multiple battery management system, and of course, temperature sensors in this. It is a beautiful piece of technology at $1,899. That's an amazing price point for their largest standalone system. So check it out. You guys are going to enjoy it. Now, I'm kind of running a little long tonight on this show, and I do apologize to Lois if she has to be off here soon. We're going to talk about the 300 plus system, guys. We have the 300 plus in here, of course, as well. The 300 plus, of course, is 288 watt hours of power. It is a LiFePO 4-cell system. Now, this will actually be up and charged in about an hour and a half of time on a wall plug. Now, this does work with the app. You guys could also use that 100 watt USB-C port and have it charged in about 2.5 to 3 hours as well. For those of you that have like the Mini 40 solar panel, you guys will have that charged in about 7.5 hours. When you're charged and you're running that 288 watt hours of power through that 300 AC outlet, you guys could run, of course, a house fan for about 4.5 hours. You could charge a drone about 5 times or your phone about 13 times. This will allow you to run, of course, that 80 watt laptop for about 3.25 hours. The station by itself, of course, is a good price point at $209. But I would definitely pair it up with the Mini 40 solar panel. That Mini 40 solar panel is a notebook-sized device. Now, that notebook-sized device means you guys could fold it up, use it, and have all of the technology running as you need with this. This, of course, is a trifold design. It is a very beautiful trifold design with a magnetic clasp. It's actually a really cool little panel that folds out quite large. That's a good-sized panel to be folded up and put in a backpack. Now, both of these devices weigh so light that you could put both in a backpack and not worry. Now, this is going to do about 23% conversion rate to light to electric, so you guys do have that with this. Fully waterproof, water resistant in harsh and wet weather, so you don't have to worry about that as well with this. This is an amazing product that's going to blow your mind if you need it. The station with the solar panel is about $279, so you have that right there. Let's see. I was comparing a lot of. Yeah, I bet you. Yeah, comparing the systems is always a good thing. Sometimes there's a lot of stuff to read and start learning about. Now, with that, we're going to move over into the 1000 plus system. Now, these are modular systems. We're going to kind of pop and bounce through these as we can. Now, with that, that system, of course, is up there in the middle. Let's see if we can get there. Now, the 1000 plus modular system. This means you guys can add batteries. The station by itself is about $839, which is a great price point. It's 1264 watt hours of power with the station by itself. All right, 1264 watt hours of power can be fully charged in 2 hours without an issue. Actually, a little under 2 hours by itself. On a car, in about 7 hours. With multiple solar panels, about 4.5 hours fully charged. Now, by itself, that means you guys can run a window AC for about an hour or so if you wanted to. $839 just for the station. Now, we also have the station and, of course, 2 of the Solar Saga 100 panels at about $1,199. That means you have the station and 2 of the Solar Saga 100 panels at a great price point. That's like a 20% savings. Now, remember, though, I did say it's a modular system. What I mean by modular is you can actually add a battery. Now, the battery is actually on top over there. If I zoom back some, you guys will see the battery up on top over there. That means you just doubled your runtime. And we actually have the kit in the carousel. Now, this kit is, of course, a $1,600 price tag. Comes with 2 solar panels and the battery and the station. You just went from 1,200 watts to 2,528 watt hours of power. That means you doubled your runtime on everything with this. The cool part is you can actually have 3 batteries set up to go over 5 kilowatts of hour power. With the 3 batteries, it's about 5,056 watt hours of power, or 5 kilowatts of hour power. It's a lot of power in a system of this size. Now, you do have 3 AC outlets that do 2,000 watts of pure sine wave power, but can, of course, peak at 4,000. You still have the 2 USB-C ports, the 2 USB-A ports, and the 12-volt 10-amp cigarette lighter plug. Just like the 3000 Pro, it works with the app, so you can control it from the app without an issue. Now, it's a really cool piece, and that battery is, of course, very portable. The full kit is about 65 pounds of weight. That's with the 2 solar panels, the battery, and, of course, the station. The battery does have a handle. It does come with, of course, a cable to connect it up and use it with that. It's a really amazing piece of product at a great price point. If I was to choose out of the 3 of those pieces, I'm going to choose the full kit. Because I have the best of all worlds. I have the extended battery, I have, of course, the station, and 2 of the solar panels. That means I am good to go in times of blackouts, brownouts, emergencies, natural disasters, and all that. I'm good. I will be able to keep myself sufficed and, of course, keep myself amused for multiple hours or maybe days by having it charging itself and running devices that I need, which is kind of cool. I like that. So if you need, the 1000 Plus is a really, really amazing system. It has all of those nails. Now, with it, of course, guys, with this, we're going to bounce over and drop into their largest modular system. Now, this, of course, if I can get over there, is the 2000 Plus system. Now, this system does, of course, have the options of batteries. The station by itself is a $1,299 price tag. It's a great price point. Now, it has, of course, the 5 AC outlets. Those 5 AC outlets, of course, do 3,000 watts of pure sine wave power, but can peak at 6,000. That's a really amazing amount of power to be ran. That means you guys could run your wood shop, your workshops, or anything in between. You guys could do it, of course, run your house with this. This is a modular system. It's a beautiful system. It still has the 2 USB-C ports at 100 watts max. It has the 2 USB-A ports at 18 watts max as well. Now, with it, the station alone is about $1,299. But you can get the station with solar panels at $1,899. It's a little bit more, but you get the solar panels at a great price point. That's a 42% savings. Now, remember what I said. Yes, 42%, of course, already, but take and use that 5% code that we have down there in that little banner and save yourself another 5% and have, of course, the station and 2 of the Solar Saga 200 panels. Now, where it's really at, though, is the full kit. Now, the full kit is considered the 4000 kit. Now, this is going to be the Jackery Explorer 2000 Plus that battery that's sitting right above it, and those 2 solar panels. This full kit is normally a $5,000 price tag. That's right, $5,000 price tag. It's actually $2,699 tonight. That is a 45 to 46% savings. Now, where it's really going to be cool is use that 5% code, of course, and save yourself some more money. Now, where that moves is you guys move from the 2,000 watts of pure sine wave, or 2,000 watts of watt hour power, to 4,085 watt hours of power. That means you just unlocked that 30% tax credit from your clean energy programs in your state. So reach out to your energy system, companies and see if you can save yourself some money by having this system. Now, with it, of course, guys, you have a 2-hour charge cycle on the device by itself. You add the battery, it's a little bit longer. You add solar panels, you're good to go. About 30 decibels a run, or 30 decibels of noise with this. Now, where it's really, really cool is if you have 6 solar panels, 2 hours fully charged. The battery can actually have solar panels as well. This is where it gets really cool though. You can have 5 batteries connected up to this one system. The one system, that means you guys have over 12 kilowatts of hour power with the 5 batteries and the system by itself. Now, they thought about it and they're like, well, wait a minute. You can actually link 2 of these stations together, 2 of the 2,000 plus kits stations, and have 10 batteries. That means you have 24 kilowatts of hour power. You're running your homestead for multiple days without an issue. You're running your house for multiple days without an issue. Your garage, your shop, your whatever you really want to use. You can do that. Now, yes, it's going to take multiple solar panels to keep all of that charged. And that's why they added the solar panel plugs to the batteries as well. It's a lot of power, and it's going to do a lot of good for you. Now, the one thing that I'm going to mention, though, is, guys, remember, the stations are not waterproof. Only the solar panels are. You have to keep these stations up and out of the rain, but you can use them and have the cabling out there, and you're good to go. Really great options. Now you can run again, take and rig welders. You guys can run your window ACs. You can run your lawnmowers off of this. The sky's the limit. At 3,000 watts of pure sine wave power, 6,000 watts peak, you can run pretty much whatever you think you need to, like a CPAP machine for over 300 hours with the station kit. That's the battery in the station by itself, 300 hours. 24 hours on a 200 watt PC. 4 hours on a window AC, coffee makers, lawnmowers, Tigger MIG welders, air pumps, whatever you really need, it can run it and you're good to go. Now, of course, that is a $2,699 price tag. It's a great, amazing deal. Now, with that being said, we've been talking about solar panels, so we're going to start this off with, of course, that Mini 40 that we were just showing you. Now, the Mini 40 is a good price point. It's like $94. This is 28% savings tonight. Now, this is actually a nice little panel that can be folded up and put in a backpack. It's a notebook size. It has their beautiful logo, has eye ringlets to tie it down, and has a magnetic clasp. Now, like I said, it is a monocrystalline solar cell. It is compatible with the 1000 or the 500 down to the 240 and even the 100 plus. Now, Mini 40, very beautiful panel, monocrystalline solar cells, fully waterproof, water resistant. It's an IP68 rating. This can be put out in rain and it will still work. You can be put in, of course, snow and it's not going to hurt it. A dust storm is not going to hurt it either. Just wash it off with the hose and you're back up and running. It folds up. It's a nice large panel and it's very portable. This is going to be great for those smaller stations where you just want to keep it on hand for quick emergencies or camping or hiking trips. This is a beautiful panel. This panel is very amazing. This panel is going to be the perfect setup for a lot of different stations. So that, of course, is the Mini 40 solar panel. Now, we're going to move over to the 100 plus. Of course, with that, we're going to show you guys the 100 plus. Now, this is the Solar Saga 100. The Solar Saga 100 is a very cool solar panel. This is, I think it's like $209 or something like that tonight, which is great. This will do 100 watts of charge rate at 18 volts. It is a dual panel. It has, of course, 2 kickstands, and it, of course, is monocrystalline solar cells. It's a bifold design, right? It folds open and you got there. 23.5% conversion rate in low light settings. This is compatible with all the way up to the 1500 power stations. Now with it, it is fully waterproof, water resistant. You don't have to worry about it. It has an ETFE laminated handle. It weighs approximately a few pounds. It's not too heavy. On the back, it's got this little zipped up pouch that's got a little hidden secret. It's your 9.5 foot cable. Now that 9.5 foot cable is in there for a reason because it has the cable. It also has, of course, 2 adapters depending on the station you need. Depending on if it's the smaller ones, you're going to use the front plug. If it's the larger station, you're going to use the yellow plug that's right here with that. And of course, that's kind of cool. Now it also has this little orange adapter that's got a USB-C port and a USB-A port with that. Can you charge an E2000 Plus with a 12 volt VDC wind generator connected to a 12 volt solar charge port? TG, I cannot answer that, but Lois might be able to. Lois, there's a question in chat that you might be able to answer. I don't know that answer to that one myself. So right here, guys, the Solar Saga 100 solar panel is a really, really cool one, of course. Can I charge my electric bike with this? Yes, you definitely, not with the solar panel alone, but with the 2,000 plus system and batteries, you can definitely charge that. You'll need one of the larger systems. Yep, no problem. Now we're going to move in, of course, to the larger solar panel that they have, and that's going to be the 2000. Now, with that, we're going to move over here. We're going to grab this little video. This 200 watt Solar Saga solar panel is IP68 rating for harsh and wet weather. This solar panel will work with the 1000 V2, the 1500 Pro, the 2000 Pro, the 2000 Plus, and the 3000 Pro system. Now with it, it does 200 watts of charge rate at 18 volts. It has, of course, a case that is zipped up. It is a trifold design with 3 legs. It does, of course, have 4 panels of charging solar panels. It's got 4 monocrystalline solar panels in one piece. When you have it set out, it's going to take about 15 to 20 seconds or so to connect up. It does come with a 9.5 foot cable. That cable does have a straight angle or a 90-degree bend cable connector as well. Now with it, of course, guys, it takes very little time to set it up. Once you set it up, you guys will see here that I am automatically starting to get about 153 watts of charge rate through this device, which is actually kind of cool. Within seconds, it's getting that charge and you're good to go. Add 6 of these panels onto the device like this and you're charging it very, very fast. It's an amazing piece, fully water resistant, waterproof. This one does about 24.3% conversion in, of course, converting that light into a higher power rating. It's a really, really amazing piece for this. Simply put, it's about $474. It's a great sale tonight for that 200. It's like 32% off. So if you guys need the larger solar panel, that's definitely going to be the way to go for your systems. Definitely the larger ones are a way of life with that. So great little piece, great option. If you need a solar panel like that, you have 3 options. You have the Mini 40, the 100, and of course the 200. Now, with that being said, that is the last of our product tonight. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us on this show, of course. Now, we'll be back Sunday. Now, you guys are going to see a show from me. I believe it's Sunday morning, so you guys will see a show from me Sunday morning as well on here. So we're going to be doing more shows. Of course, Prime Week's going to be coming up. You guys will probably be seeing me anywhere from 1 to 2 to maybe 3 times a day. You never know. So I want to thank you guys for being here. I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening, and we'll see you guys on the next show. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for hanging out.